Everybody loves cash back. So many ways to get cash back. Let me tell you about a great one. The Blue Cash Preferred Card from American Express with 6% cash back at U.S. supermarkets on up to $6,000 in purchases. Think about that. You need food. You go to a supermarket all the time. Now you can get cash back. You get 6% cash back on chocolate chip cookies, double chocolate chip cookies, and of course, as I've mentioned before, the very elusive triple chocolate chip cookie. If you can find that, it does apply 6% cash back. Backed by the service and security of membership, start earning cash back at AmexBlueCash.com, and terms apply, all that stuff. Go check them out, but it's great, AmexBlueCash.com. So you're listening to Beautiful Anonymous, and you think to yourself, wouldn't it be awesome if I could have my own Chris Gethard to talk about my life? I get a lot of feedback like that online. I see people saying stuff like that. Look, even though technologically we're more connected than ever before, human interaction is actually getting more and more impersonal. People just don't have friends they get on the phone with anymore. We're depriving ourselves of that gratifying connection. Now, this is where the Chirpy network comes in. It's a service that lets you rent a conversation buddy, not social media, it's not texting. It's a real person to keep you company on the phone at your convenience. They say it's easier to talk to a stranger because you don't feel like you're being judged for who you really are. This podcast proves that. This service ties right into that. Chirpy also takes privacy very seriously. The calls are routed anonymously through their system. Chirpy has a huge marketplace, hundreds of listeners that really enjoy conversations, and they make money doing something they love. So try them out. Go to chirpynetwork.com, sign up with the referral code BEAUTIFUL. That will get you 20 talk credits for just $1. Start talking to your very own beautiful stranger. Hello, person whose ear I am currently inside. I am in your ears right now. My name is Chris Gethard, and this is Beautiful Stories from Anonymous People. One phone call, 1 hour, no names, no holds barred.
I'd rather go one-on-one. I think it'll be more fun, and I'll get to know you, and you'll get to know me.
Welcome to Beautiful Anonymous, particularly if anybody is joining us for the first time via my appearance on WTF with Mark Maron. Welcome to the show. And if you are a regular listener, you want to know a little bit more about the rest of my life, WTF is such an honor to appear with Mark Maron, and it's a show I'm sure you've heard of. If you're listening to this podcast and you have not listened to Mark's, I don't get it, because he's set the bar high for many years, and it was such a pleasure. Thank you, Mark, for talking to me. Also, thank you to today's caller for talking to me. I don't know what to say about this one. I don't want to talk too much. Let me just say this, that, Beautiful Stories from Anonymous People, it's just a title I made up, but the caller you're about to hear dealt with a situation that's just about the opposite of beautiful. It's as not beautiful as a story can be, and yet this person still is so strong and resilient. And I would say it struck me as a really beautiful human being in the face of something awful. Caller, if you're out there, thank you for sharing. I hope you're doing well. Mean it so sincerely. And without any further ado, let's get into the call.
Thank you for calling Beautiful Anonymous. A beeping noise will indicate when you are on the show with the host.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm feeling a bit anxious, actually, at the moment. I was, just saw your little thing pop up on my Facebook feed, and I was like, hey, I'll call and see if I can talk to you. And I'm pretty impressed that I'm actually talking to you. I did not think it would be that easy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for giving it a shot. I'm glad we're talking to each other.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I guess typically people just kind of dive in. I was feeling compelled to call because normally I'm on your end of it. I'm like kind of the person who digs into people, and I thought, let's turn this back on me and see if someone can get me to open up a bit.
Well, I'll do my best.
I'm normally a very kind of closed-off person, so I'm open in the sense that I always answer what's asked to me, but I don't tend to share about my life. So this is going to be interesting.
Okay, this is intriguing. You've sufficiently teased me into feeling like I now have a mission to get you to start yapping. So.
It really won't be that hard because you just have to answer a question. I'm usually pretty upfront and honest. It's just I always naturally fall on the kind of listening end of conversations.
Yeah, and is that just because you're a good person, or is it because there's stuff you don't like to share? Do you keep your guard up against the world?
Maybe a bit of both.
Intriguing.
Definitely have my guard up. Definitely have my guard up. There's been lots of scary people in my life, I'm going to say, that have caused me to kind of, build a bit of a wall. But I think mostly it is empathy. I tend to be empathetic, so I like to listen to people and just be able to kind of let them get their emotions out in kind of a safe space.
Okay. Well,
much like you, I feel.
Thank you. And people tell me I'm empathetic, and that's something I've always been proud of, because I feel like I could have used an empathetic ear at certain points in my life, and I'm glad to provide that to people now. But if you think I'm just going to blow past the part where you say your life is filled with scary people, then you're underestimating
Not filled,
me.
just seeing something.
Okay.
Not filled. I'm,
Anybody you want to?
Yeah, no, see, okay, so it's an ex-husband situation. I found myself kind of married to a bit of a monster. I didn't see it coming.
Wow.
I guess I tend to see the good in people. I don't use the word monster lightly, and you'll probably figure that out. I tend to look for the good in people. So when I let people into my life, I tend to want to meet them where they're at and kind of trust that maybe their intentions are as good as mine. I don't know. And that we'll kind of be honest and true and grow together and, have like this kind of fairy tale relationship. And I kind of let myself open to a person who was, well, I guess I can just say it, a child molester.
Wow. Well, let me say right off the bat.
I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that at the time.
I would imagine you didn't sign up for that, and I'm so sorry. And I'll just say this too, and this is a thing I find myself saying a lot, but I think it's very warranted in this case, is that whatever you want to tell me, I'm not gonna judge it and anything. If you're like, you know what, let's not even bother going there. That's a valid thing that you define the conversation. So whatever you want to tell me, you're allowed to tell me. Whatever you don't want to tell me, feel free.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's kind of one of those surreal situations where when people envision their lives, they don't necessarily see it playing out in these sorts of ways. And I think people's natural tendency is to kind of pull inward and keep secrets. And I think that's what takes people to kind of dark places. So I'm happy to be open and kind of, when it first was revealed to me that this is the situation I was in, I immediately kind of got on the internet. I'm like, surely there's a community of people who know. I couldn't find no community of people who found out they were married to child molesters. That was a hard support system to find.
I would imagine. And can I say right off the bat that the fact that you're outwardly laughing and giggling about this is both.
That's a defense mechanism.
Oh, it is. Because I was going to say it's both endearing and confusing from the outside. But I would imagine and it's interesting because if I feel like if I was a journalist, I'd try to lay all sorts of track. How did you guys meet and this and that? But I feel like I'm not a journalist. I'm just a guy having a conversation. And my first question I think would be, you referenced this. How did you find out? Can I ask?
Bail card, came in the mail.
A bail
and
card?
then I confronted him, and the person had came forward. The person was his daughter from a previous marriage. It came forward, so there was a warrant issued, and then we got a bail card in the mail.
Wow.
Saying you have these charges. Call us if you need help. I got the mail that day. I confronted him. He confessed right out to me.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah.
No denying it.
Yeah.
So this was something you
that
think
was the moment you don't forget.
Oh, I imagine. And did you get the sense was he waiting for the shoe to drop on this?
Yeah. It's amazing when you find things out, going back and looking at it, all the hints and things that he said, things like, you have no idea what I've been dealing with, or I would be better off if I just left, all those things that kind of in the heat of the moment or in fights and arguments over the course of a 10-year marriage, you kind of, I don't know, kind of file away. And then the light comes on and it's like, oh my God. Oh my God.
So there were a lot of references to things and puzzle pieces that when you found out, you were like, oh, whoa.
I felt like an idiot. Yeah. Like, man, he was trying to tell me or trying to get me to make me tell. I don't know. Like, yeah, you feel, I've always thought I was like super smart, but could navigate the world fairly well, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, I don't think you can beat yourself up, and I've never lived through what you're living through, but I think everybody listening right now, it's like, it's not a matter of you being smart. You don't get into a marriage so you can be a fucking detective. You don't put on a Sherlock Holmes hat and bust out a magnifying glass. You assume that these people who are putting their best foot forward are doing so honestly. So right off the bat, I'm like, you can't sit around thinking I was stupid and didn't see it. Who would ever think that? Who would guess that?
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. I don't know. I'm not here to solve your problems, but my opinion is like,
Yeah. I'm beyond looking for a solution right now. I'm just, making sure each day is livable for me and my son.
So you have a son together.
Yeah. We had a child together. Yeah.
And how long?
So that's.
How long ago did you find out?
About 2 years ago, I found out.
And he's in jail now, I would imagine.
2 years. Yeah, 25-year sentence.
Are you guys still married?
No. That was He thought that I should give him a chance, but no.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, no. like the way I feel about the way I feel about like sending back a food order that comes out wrong. Where I'm like, no, you kept the pico de gallo on this. Yeah, no thanks.
No, thing. That's not going to work out for us.
How old's your son? I don't remember.
He is 5.
Wow.
He's 5 years old.
So he doesn't know about any of this.
That's part of the battle. I don't know how. I struggle with like the idea of family secrets and like how deep do you bury things, or what do you bury, or what do you just be open about, and what causes more damage? Like there's going to be damage, but which one causes the least?
Yeah.
Like him just not knowing, or him slowly becoming aware of who his father is, because ultimately he's going to know, right?
Well, I don't know. Let me go ahead and say this. Listeners of this podcast know I tend to have an opinion on everything. I'm going to come straight out of the gate and say, out of my depth on this one. Way out of my depth on this one.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, of course.
It's one of those situations where sometimes people in your life, like, you come to them for advice, and people are always usually willing to give it, mostly because they think they know everything. But, but in a situation like this, people are like, man.
Yeah.
You just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard because I have a natural inclination to be like forgiving of people and accepting of people. And it's part of the reason me and my ex got into a relationship, because I knew a lot of his past, and I was like, it's okay. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here with who you are now. And then he just kind of grabbed that. I don't know. He saw that part of me that was naive, and he would tell me through our entire relationship how naive I was. And I was like, I'm not naive. I'm just,
Ooh.
I just love people.
Ooh, so
but now I'm like, I'm.
So he's
a sociopath.
He's like saying stuff like that as like a power play. He's like saying these things is a weird. So he was a real monster.
Yeah, I didn't use that word lightly. Yeah, a monster.
Yeah.
A monster that was well disguised. Really well disguised.
Yeah. And you said you don't open up so much. Is this? Have you been able to get this off your chest with family and friends or professionals and stuff?
Oh, for sure. That's the thing. Is then yeah, for sure. We see a family counselor, and I talk to my family open about it, and. Yeah, it's been like a good catalyst for the family just to, because in a situation like this, either you have to kind of dig in to the people that you can trust, or you're kind of floating alone in the world. So
Yeah.
in a way, it's hard to ever say something like this is a blessing, but in a way it comes like, okay, I've got to make the choice to be a real solid person to get through this. Otherwise, I'm just going to go down a dark hole.
Yeah. I notice you tend to laugh at the things that are the most pain. At the end of the most painful sentences, you tend to laugh.
Yeah,
which I think is both a beautiful quality, but clearly also you're trying to find ways to laugh at the world and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's like a dark comedy to it, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if it's comedy. It's just, I guess, it's something I've always done. A nervous giggler, I suppose. I don't know what that is.
No, I think there's beauty to that. I think there's as a comedian, which is the day job for me when I'm not doing this. It's like I think there's something. Yeah. The darkest stuff is the stuff we have to find a way to laugh at the most. And you sound like such a charming. You sound so well adjusted, and I think that's commendable. Even if you're faking it, even if you're faking that for the past 10 minutes or so, it's commendable that you're able to even fake being well adjusted. Let alone the fact that it seems like no, it's legit.
I would like to think I'm well adjusted, but I don't know. When something like this happens in your life, you begin to question just what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a walking through the world, not quite sure where you are and what's going on.
I would imagine too. It must make you is it hard to just trust anybody at face value anymore?
No, that's I'm currently in another relationship, and I immediately fell into I don't know if it's part of my composition that I just trust people. I still trust people.
That's a good thing.
I don't know. It's the scary thing. Are you kidding me? It's the scary thing because I know where it can go now.
Yeah, I guess that is true. In general, it's a good thing to be a trusting human being, but your worldview, your experience has redefined the parameters in a way I don't get. So I don't know. So you're in a new relationship. This is not something you reveal on the first date.
Yeah, no. It came up pretty quickly just because, like I said, I think secrets when kept longer become more destructive. I don't know. The longer that you withhold telling something, the harder it is to say it, and then the more I think hurt comes with it. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it builds up energy while it's just kind of, I don't know, it festers maybe.
Yeah.
So it was relatively soon, and I speak to him. Maybe he's similar to me, but he just, I don't know. I never expected to be in a relationship again. I thought everyone would just run for the hills.
Yeah. So this
but
part,
he just immediately.
He stuck with you, huh? How does he react? How does he react when he hears all this?
Oh, almost initially, it's like sympathy, I suppose, at first, shock. Almost it's shock, lots of silence, time to process. I usually obviously giggle.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Where were you? Where were you when you told him?
We were at a park. We had gone for a walk around a lake, and we were just kind of hanging out in a little pavilion by the side of the lake.
Sounds incredibly romantic. I'm sorry to laugh while I say it.
Right. Right. And I warned him. I said, the question you asked has a very dark answer. So if you want to hear it now, I'm happy to tell you. I'm not going to lie. So if you're not ready for some darkness, we need just to move along.
What was the question? He asked a question, huh?
Yeah, what happened to your ex?
Oh, he goes, what happened to your ex?
I mean, he knew I had a kid. He knew I was, divorced. So, what's the story with, what's going on with that relationship? What happened?
Oh, that's because we've all been there when you start dating someone new and you say, so what's the deal with your ex? And you want to hear they were a jerk and I moved on, or we're still friends. It just didn't work out. And you have perhaps the darkest possible answer.
Yeah, the darkest place you could go besides maybe a serial killer, but I think they might be comparable. I'm not sure how those rank out. But
yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
I would say honest 50-50 toss-up between serial killer and child molester. No, I'm not even trying. I'm not trying to be facetious. It's a genuine toss-up.
I know. Believe me, I've grappled with the things that when I don't know what normal people do anymore. I'm so scared. But in moments of quiet and meditation, the things that normal people think about, those are the things that I think about.
Oh my God. So your daydream thoughts, you can actually sit around, and when you're when I'm home and I have a few hours and I get distracted and I'm thoughts pop in your head, your daydream thoughts honestly are would it have been better to find out that my ex was killing people and burying them in the woods? This is an honest thought. These are the honest thoughts that just pop into your head from time to time now.
Yeah, or I would have rather he'd been, yes. And then I think, oh God, I wish he would have killed somebody. And then, yes.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, amazing, tragic. But life, that's the thing though. I don't think I'm alone. There's other child molesters out there, so I'm positive somebody else is somewhere on this wide world is going through it.
And you said you're doing family counseling. Is there the people handling that? They don't have a network. There's no. They don't have the connects there.
Yeah.
Or is this...
No, it seems like most of the networks and connectors are for the children who have been molested and the family of the children who've been molested, not necessarily the family of the molester.
Wow, that's really... I've never even thought about that.
I thought about that, but neither had I. And I was like, you know what? Maybe most molesters don't have families. Maybe they don't. Then I was like, that's probably the case, is that most of them are so fucked up that they don't actually sustain a relationship and have children.
Yeah. But I bet a lot,
I don't know if that's the case either.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I bet a lot of people, these are hidden things. It's so dark. It's so dark.
It's dark, I know. And that's the crazy thing, is that it's amazing that all this darkness is tried to creep into my life, but I still have this beautiful, happy, smiley, well-adjusted son. I don't know.
Oh man, that's
miracles. I don't know.
That's incredible.
I don't know.
That's incredible.
The last day of preschool is today.
Last day of preschool is today. Oh my God, that's beautiful. And then, but I'll also say you sound so. And what do I know? I've been talking to you for a few minutes, but I think everyone listening is probably right now thinking, this person is taking care of this son, and that's why. I bet a lot of people just hearing you already are saying the reason your son, when you're it's a miracle, I think a lot of people are probably saying it is a miracle, but you're the person who guided him to being that miraculous. It sounds like.
Oh, it's hard to take that credit. It's hard to take that credit. It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And like I said,
you get so lost in your head, you feel like there's a whole world in your head that you feel like sometimes you overlook what you're going through.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, I would imagine. And like I said, more than any other, I'm very happy to be an ear to listen to your story, but man, dude, I got no right to give you any actual advice. So I just want to put sometimes this show has a therapeutic vibe, and I'm not a therapist, and I just want to say I'm super fascinated to hear the story, but I can't. I'm sure you get that a lot.
Yeah, to me it wasn't really about getting therapy, but I guess the kind of talking is a natural form of therapy. But
absolutely no, and I'm not trying to make you feel guilty at all. I feel like there's probably some listeners who are concerned. And I just want to let you know I'm here to listen, and that's what I can do. I have a weird thought. Because you said, here's an interesting thing. You said that there's no real network for people like you. It seems like it's expected for you to maybe stay hidden, which is not fair. And at the same time, there's also a platform here where there's probably a lot of people listening to you and saying, I wonder how 2 years out from this person is handling this as well as you are even at this point. What would you say? If you were, it's a shot in the dark, but if there's somebody else out there listening who's yeah, there aren't many people who have to deal with this, and I did as well. What would you say to the other people in your shoes? What have you learned? Guys, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a break. believe me, we're going to get back to that call because I know we're all waiting on bated breath to hear how it turns out. Just give us a quick minute, some words from our very, very kind sponsors who make this show happen, and then we'll be right back. I got a question for you guys. Have you downloaded Ibotta yet? That's Ibotta. It's my favorite app to get cash back on my everyday purchases, and they are today's sponsor. Thank you, Ibotta. Unlock rebates, shop, and get cash back on groceries, clothing, all sorts of things. Download it today. Use the code STORIES and instantly receive a $10 welcome bonus when you redeem your first rebate in the app. For cash back every time you shop, Ibotta. You've gotta Ibotta. Ibotta. Check it out. We all know that sometimes it feels like there are not enough hours in the day. I feel that almost every day, even when you're working past the 9 to 5. Look, if you're still making time-consuming trips to the post office, you need a better way. Use Stamps.com. You get the postage you need as soon as you need it. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package right from your computer, your printer. Quick, easy, convenient, on your terms. You save money with Stamps.com, too. It's just a fraction of the cost of one of those expensive postage meters. Plus, you get special postage discounts you can't even find at the post office. I really recommend Stamps.com. I've said it so many times, the post office stresses me out. I used to live in a neighborhood in Brooklyn where the post office was notoriously nightmarish. It was terrifying, and Stamps.com solves all that anxiety. Right now, sign up for Stamps.com. Use my promo code BEAUTIFUL for this special offer. You get a 4-week trial. You get a $110 bonus offer, including postage and a digital scale. Get started, Stamps.com today. Within minutes, you'll be printing postage right from your desk. Go to Stamps.com. Before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage. Type in BEAUTIFUL. That is Stamps.com. Enter BEAUTIFUL. Okay, everybody focus up. Take a breath. Let's get back into this call. You know, it's a shot in the dark, but if there's somebody else out there listening who's like, yeah, there aren't many people who have to deal with this, and I did as well, what would you say to the other people in your shoes? Like, what have you learned?
Just to breathe. Just to breathe through each moment of panic. And I don't know, like, it's so easy in moments of crisis to, like, go 3 or 4 or 5 years in advance and try to solve those problems, or even a month in advance. And, like, when you get into, like, real crisis, it's just a second ahead of you. It's just a 2 seconds ahead of you. And if I can navigate that and keep that stable, then, I don't know, it's like plank after plank. I've built a little bit of a sidewalk to walk on. That's all I can say.
That's all you can. That's all I can say is some of the most incredibly heartfelt and useful advice. Oh, that's all you can say is just something profound? Well, that's pretty good. I think you nailed it. That was very impactful.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know where the little plank path is going, and probably some pretty dark places still. And that's the hardest part about it, is that you know that, I don't know, I've always, since it happened, my perspective has been mostly through my son's eyes, that he's going to have to process a lot of information through the course of his beautiful little life. And his father, maybe getting out of prison when he's pubescent, I don't know. That could be a horrible experience for him. So,
you said 25 years. It sounds like if he serves the whole time, your son will be around, like, what, 27, 28?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. Well, that's what you would think, but, like, the system's so weird. I don't even understand it. Like, you give them sentences, but hardly anyone actually serves their full sentence, and I don't know. I guess it could be as early as 8 years, but I guess that just depends on how they make their choices and their good behavior. I don't know. I haven't spent too much time actually looking into that, because I felt like I at least had 6-7 years before I had to worry about it. But
that's amazing. And such an odd thought popping in my head. I would imagine there's some level at which it's like there's going to be restraining orders to keep this guy away from your son. But then is there any level at which you're like, no, his father should have to face this down? Is there any, like, what's your thought about when this guy does get out? You want to keep him
I have no
far away, right?
I don't know. I only ever Well, that's just the thing, is that it's not going to be in my control, and it never really is with another person. So, like, I want to keep him far away from me. That's all I can do. But when my son gets old enough, like, I don't know. I remember being a preteen, teenager. Like, it didn't really particularly matter what my parents told me. If I had, like, a curiosity about my birth parent, like, I don't know. Like, I can keep him away as much as I can, but that's where I battle with, how much does he know? Like, you would hope that if he knows the truth, that he wouldn't have no interest. But then I've always had both my parents in my life, so I'm trying to put myself in a place where I'm imagining not having a parent, and that natural curiosity, or that seed that's always going to be there to know who they are or what they did, or, you know. So I don't know how much of that's going to exist for him, even though his father's a monster. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much I could squelch that natural instinct to just kind of want to know who he is.
Yeah. And it
like
also,
I said, I've had both parents in my life, so.
And I don't want to bring up something completely out of bounds. So if I am, let me know. But this also means that your son has a half sister who's also involved in this in the most tragic way. Is it going to make it hard for your son to know his sibling?
That's a hurdle I haven't gone over yet. Like, since the truth was revealed, I'm not, like, that's a relationship I'm not sure how that works. I don't.
So you're not in touch with his family, like, and.
No, I'm in a vague. Yeah, that's the hard part, I suppose. That's the part that I struggle with most on a day-to-day basis, is punishing his family for his sins. Like, keeping him away to protect him from his father is keeping him away from people who didn't do anything to him. But at the same time, like, your body just wants to scream running in the other direction. Like, you don't, like, the further you are away from all of this, the safer he feels. So, but it doesn't seem, I don't, but then on the same point, like, from the perspective of the daughter, is it equally painful for us to keep on popping up into her life? So I don't know. That's definitely a road I have not been enlightened on.
Yeah, I can't imagine. You know, it's so weird, because from my perspective, one of the things that I'm so fascinated by right now is when you hear about things like this. Generally, it's like a sensationalistic news story, you know, or like you hear about somebody in your hometown who's doing stuff like this, and you're like, oh my God. And you don't consider the fact that there's this ripple effect where family.
But there always is.
Oh yeah, but you don't think about that from the outside. The good things. What's that?
Yeah, even with the good things, there's a ripple effect, though. So
what are the good things? It
keeps on going. I'm just talking about in life in general.
Oh, life in general. I thought you meant the good things with this situation, and I was like, "There's no way you're that positive."
There's not many of those.
No way you're that positive. That's even the good aspects of this. It's the ripple effect. Now we're both nervous laughing. Now we're both nervous laughing.
No, definitely not. No, that's one of the hard things that's hard to deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's just knowing that these ripples continue on through infinity. Every year is a new thing you didn't anticipate, or a new question you didn't think was going to be asked, or a new situation where you're like, oh, it affects it in this way. It's just like a revelation every day.
And is this this is all we've talked about, and clearly this is like a really, I mean, the impact on your life, it completely rearranges the whole structure of your life. But does it define it totally? Like, are 2 years out, are there stretches where you can just say, like, oh, I just went 3 or 4 hours and lived another part of my life and wasn't worried about this? Or is it just, it's omnipresent?
Not yet, I guess. I don't know. I try not to stand I don't know, you develop mental techniques, I guess, to cope with it. But I try not to stand with those thoughts for too long and don't give them too much weight in my brain, so that it gets to the point where I'm thinking about them, but they come as quickly as they go. So I let them kind of pass through my head as naturally as possible without dwelling on them. I think the anxiety and the stress and that comes from letting them sit in your head as opposed to just kind of ebbs of tide, waves coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Like if I just kind of accept that that's just kind of the natural flow of my thoughts and that they don't necessarily have to dominate my attitude for the day, then it's okay. So
Wow.
I would say yes, but I've not gotten to the place where I'm not thinking about it, but maybe more to the place where I'm not like letting it like affect me.
So it's almost more like
I think they always will be there.
it's like almost like having a radio on, and you can let it become kind of background noise.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want to say background noise, because background noise you like ignore. Like I acknowledge that I'm thinking about it, but I try not to give it too much power. Like I try not to dwell on it. Like, okay, I thought about that. Now it's time to move on. Like that was its time, and now it's time to move on to something different.
I apologize for my analogy being way off. It was way off. Yeah,
But
nothing.
I mean, in a way, you tune into the radio when it's playing, so maybe it's always there, and those are the moments I'm tuning into what's being actually spoken about. I don't know. Maybe it's an accurate analogy.
I don't know. I mean, we're now in a situation where this is why I get the sense that you're a pretty incredible person. Is I made a bad analogy, and you're the one dealing with a life situation that's more real than hopefully anything I have to deal with, and you're trying to make me feel better about the quality of my analogy. You're like, no, I was pretty good. You're like, no, I was pretty good. Don't beat yourself up about your radio analogy when you're the one. You don't need
It's
to be
valid.
helping
It's
me.
a valid analogy if that's how you perceived it, and that's how you perceived it.
Yeah, but I think my point is you don't owe me anything, and you don't need to be propping me up for my bad metaphors over here. Like people accuse me with this show of being like a fake therapist all the time. Have you? I feel like I wish you were. I think I would talk to you. I love my therapist very much, but you should be one. You're really nice.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I get too emotionally connected to people, so I feel like I would I don't know. I feel like I might go insane.
Yeah, you'd absorb it all.
But maybe not. Maybe that's how. Yes. Yeah. I tend to do that, like going to funerals and things like that. I just absorb all that. Ooh.
And have you always been that way? Have you always been that way, or is this something that has heightened since your situation a few years back?
I think no. I think I've always been that way, but I didn't come to kind of actually realize it until.
Oh. So you're saying you've always been a very emotional person who absorbs the impact of emotional things in a big way, and that's always been a factor in your life. And then you also stumble into a marriage that ends in perhaps the most negatively impactful emotional. Oh God, I can't imagine.
I've always been kind of drawn to. I've always been kind of. Okay, this is going to sound really kind of crazy, but I've always been kind of drawn. I don't want to say to darkness, but to wounded things, to things that want to. And that's just not a healthy person to be. But in a sense of you see a wounded puppy, you want to help it.
Yeah.
And that's the danger. That's the danger of kind of having to feel being really sensitive to people, is that you feel the pain there, and even if the pain they cause their own pain, you still feel it, and it's still a real feeling that they're experiencing, and I want to immediately make it go away,
Wow.
Immediately. So I tend to find myself in company of people who are in pain.
Yeah. So you're like a healer. You're like a healer for the people around you. Like if we were still in if we were in a pagan society, you'd be the healer. It's like in the 1600s, you'd probably be burned as a witch because of your healing. You'd be casting healing spells.
Thank you. That sounds lovely.
So is it fair?
Probably, yes.
I can't.
Probably.
I will tell you, this is tough for me because I know it's not about me and my problems, but I feel bad making any jokes, but I'm glad we're finding some ways to laugh. Based on what you just told me though about wanting to like take in the wounded puppies, would you say like, did you get a sense that your ex had some darkness and maybe you were like buying into that or romanticizing it a little bit because of that tendency?
Yeah, like in hindsight, yeah.
There's
like,
something attractive about
this
it.
is going to sound, I don't even want to say this because it sounds so broken when I say it, but like part of me, initially when you're going in a new relationship, there's a lot of that new relationship energy and like things that kind of make you blind to certain aspects of people if you're not being fully aware. And I was definitely not. I was, in my early 20s at the time and kind of just running through life, kind of like careless. And after I got to know him, I was like, oh, there's some really, truly darkness bordering on evil. I could sense like just darkness here. And I thought that was past stuff that was just coming up from the past. And I thought, you know what, if this is my life, if I'm like throwing myself on this grenade, then at least I've neutralized this one person. Like if I wasn't in this person's life, and it sounds so narcissist when I'm saying it, it came to a point in the relationship where I was like, wow, there's some real tendency to be kind of evil. But when he was with me, like in my house, I felt like it was neutralized. Like I knew where, that sounds so horrible, but like I knew where he was. I knew what he was doing, and everyone was safe.
Wow.
Everyone was safe. Because
this is,
I would have those thoughts and I'd be like, I'm crazy. Why am I thinking this? I'm going crazy. But
wow.
In hindsight, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to keep him safe. Like my ex-husband safe, like from himself, like safe.
At this point, I'd like to just take a very quick moment, but do not worry. We'll be back shortly with the rest of the call. Some of the most beautiful stories you'll ever hear are found in documentaries. Discover a vast library of riveting documentaries on Sundance Now Doc Club. Sundance Now Doc Club is a new premium streaming service for curated nonfiction content. Learn more about the beautiful storytelling behind the hottest shows in the series The Writer's Room. Get a peek into the candid discussion between host, Academy Award-winning screenwriter Jim Rash and the talent and writing staff of Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Scandal, House of Cards, and more. And I'll tell you what, guys, I am a member of Sundance Now Doc Club, and I liked it so much that I actually signed my dad up as his birthday present. I actually went ahead and got my dad a membership because I loved it so much. I knew he was going to love it so much, and he does. Explore Sundance Now Doc Club's ever-growing library of critically acclaimed content. It's available on web, mobile, Apple TV, and Roku. Become a member to start streaming now and get your free month at www.docclub.com/beautiful. That's www.docclub.com/beautiful. Put the word beautiful in lowercase. I got it. I love it. Got it from my dad, extending it to my family because it's a really great thing. You're going to enjoy it. Check it out. Okay. Everybody got your earbuds in tight? Everybody sitting down. Let's get to the rest of this call. I mean, there's a lot of people attracted to darkness, but you said evil. Like this wasn't like oh, he listens to Depeche Mode and The Cure a lot and wears black. He's dark. This was like when you say you sensed evil, that's pretty specific. What type of, and say you both in that chunk you said like keep him safe from himself, and also if he's here, I know where he is, which implies like keeping the world safe. What evil did you sense?
It wouldn't be a thing that he did. It would be a thought process that he would have. Where like, I can't even give you a specific example, but we would be sitting and talking about hypotheticals. Like you're doing a relationship, you're watching TV, and there's something you see on TV, and you're kind of like, oh, I would have blah, 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 blah. And like the things that he would like justify in his head, there'd be so, I don't know, like not consider any other human being on the planet but himself. And I was like, wow, like you would cause pain to other people because it made you feel good in that second. Like there would just be moments where I would see like, oh, you would do anything for yourself. Like anything to satisfy a desire for yourself.
Wow.
And they would come and go really quickly, but I would see them and be like, wow. Like it would be a moment, like, and it was so well disguised. Like it would come in the most kind of casual of like topics. And it would just like a moment, it'd be in my head, like, that's not, I don't know, that's dangerous. That's a dangerous thought to have. That goes to all sorts of dark places. And I didn't think he was actually in those dark places. I just thought, oh, he could go there. He could go to those dark places. I didn't actually, I don't know. Like, I guess when people start, like, if there's certain areas that they just make certain decisions, like, I don't know. I've struggled with this because I always believe that people get better and people improve and that you can always grow, but I'm not so sure anymore. And maybe some people are stuck in their same decision making their entire life. I don't know.
Well, it's amazing because you sound like so aware and intuitive and like emotionally in touch and very forgiving. Hearing what you just said, here's a question that just from the outside is popping into my head is like, looking back, do you feel like you ever really loved him, or was it always this effort to like save him or
save him? Yes, it was always an effort to save him in hindsight, and I guess that's a sort of love. Maybe not a romantic like husband love, but like a humanity sort of love.
Wow. Now, can I ask? I've been thinking about a question for a long time. It's a painful one. Is it okay if I just go there?
Go for it.
Do you know, like, was this stuff in the past, or was this happening while you were married to him?
While we were married. While we were married.
Oh, that's.
It ended like Why we were married.
Oh no! Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's nauseating and infuriating and a whole bunch of emotions all at the same time. And the fact that the hardest part, I think, is how did I not see it? How could I could have stopped it. I could have saved years of her abuse. But, and it's not that wasn't I don't know. That's just not how it happened. I didn't see it. I saw something. I didn't know what I was seeing.
Yeah, I mean, you
don't know what you see sometimes.
Of course, and nobody sees that. Nobody sees that. Nobody sees that. And I don't know, like, I can't say what you should or shouldn't do, but I hope you don't make it about you and beating yourself up. Because it's also like you wanted to save him when you married him. You wanted to save her when you heard retroactively. And it's, this
that's
guy
all just
is
on that little wheel of thoughts that spins in my head. That thought, along with all the other ones, they all just pop up randomly. I mean, I don't think it was my job to like I don't know. I don't think I'm at fault, but I wish I could have.
And I would imagine.
I wish I could have.
Of course. I can't even fathom what that was like, and I would imagine too. There must be such the protective instincts you feel towards your son immediately must be like instantaneous, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but at the same time, that's the hard part because he was old enough at 3 to remember him and to know, like I said, he had a really good disguise. Like he was so present and with his son and laughing every day and playing and engaged. Like that's my son's memory of his father. So it's hard. I'm defensive and I want to protect him, but he wants his daddy.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, it's back to the whole secret thing. Like, what secrets do you keep, and what things do you like? How you can't look at your 3-year-old son and be like, "Your dad's a monster. You're never going to speak to him again." Like maybe you could, but I can't imagine that's the healthiest thing to do for him. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard, but I don't know. My life got some beautiful things in it. So
What's the most beautiful thing that jumps out?
oh, for sure, my son, for sure. He just beautiful, beautiful boy. just loves, no matter what, just loves.
Like loves things, loves people.
He just loves things. He loves people. He just, everyone's a friend, and which scares me because that's, I guess, kind of how I was. So I don't want him to be jaded, though. I'd rather him go through life open than closed.
That's amazing. So even though he like takes after you and he's trusting, and you've said that your trust maybe got you into a situation that was a nightmare, you want to fan the flames of that trust because ultimately you think that is the more positive way to live.
For sure. I've never doubted that, living open and trusting people. I mean, unless you want to be by yourself your whole life, and I guess maybe there are people who that's the life for them, but you got to leave yourself open. And if you want people to be part of your life, you got to leave, or love or relationships. You got to be open if it's going to come.
Wow. I will tell you, I have gone negative for complete bullshit reasons so many times, even within the past few days. And you've lived through something that would crush anybody's worldview and completely rearrange it. And you're still here talking about trust and positivity. And it's this phone call, at least with me, and I imagine many listeners, is a massive wake-up call to thank God for what I've got. And if you're so strong, you're so strong.
It doesn't feel like that normally on a day-to-day basis, but thank you. It's encouraging.
Yeah, I would say like from the outside, just thinking about the way you're raising your son in the face of all this, it's like I would imagine not even many people in your life know it, but it seems like it's kind of like quietly heroic. You're giving your son this life that's unaffected by this nightmare situation.
That's a daily struggle.
You shoulder the load for everybody around you, huh?
It's a daily struggle going into work. Yeah. It's like, if I want to be self-indulgent for a moment, like it's a struggle going into work and sitting at your desk and hearing people. Like, even like a month after it happened, when I went back to work, hearing people whine about, I don't know, my basement flooded, like, and how tragic. And I want to empathize, and I want to, like, that is really horrible. That sucks. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm just like, oh God,
well,
go
you're
fuck
clearly,
yourself.
yeah,
horrible.
Yes, I love that you said that, because I was gonna say you're like such a sweet person. It's clear, but there must be part of you that's like, fuck your fucking basement. Shut up.
But it's really easy to fall into that resentment, though, and that's a place that's hard to come back from.
How did you do it? How did you come back from it? How did you not fall into it?
I think that's the trap people get into, is that they think it's one or the other. It goes in and out.
Yeah,
I can fall into some resentment feelings, and then the next day I can let that go and just be thankful.
Wow, you are stronger than I am. I would be 2 years out. There's no way. I mean, I'm a wreck. I'm like a wreck about a lot of things in my life is easy, and you're so strong, and your life has been hard. But yeah, like I'm trying to think of something. Like this whole week, I've been in a bad mood. Like I played.
And that's okay. That's okay. It was a bad week. It's okay.
No, but look at you trying to take care of me. I played basketball on Tuesday, and I shot 0 for 6, and I've been in a bad. It's now Friday, and I've been in a horrific mood. I've been treating people in my life worse because I'm so mad about how I played basketball. And now I'm talking to someone on the phone. We're like, oh, yeah, that sucks that you went 0 for 6 from 3, dude. Guess what, though? I was married for 10 years to someone
I went 0 for 12.
How did you...
I played basketball the other day, and I never make a shot. Never.
How did you... I'm in the middle of singing. You jump in with this killer punchline. I'm 0 for 12. You make me feel better by making it clear you're worse at basketball. You're You're a miraculous. I am overwhelmed by your level of grace. I am overwhelmed by your strength and your level of grace. It is. I will never forget this. I will never forget that I got to have this conversation ever.
Oh, thank you. Me neither. I'm still in a bit of shock that I'm having it because I listen to your podcast all the time, like at work, on my little Bluetooth speaker in my ear while I'm charting through my databases. I'm listening to you and your stories.
Well, I'm happy.
Your listener stories.
I'm happy that I've given you an hour of distraction once a week. But at the end of the day, what I am is a middle class kid from New Jersey who has brought very little to the world and dealt with very little. And thank you for saying
but yours
that.
are valid as mine.
I almost feel bad that you keep telling me my problems and concerns and thoughts are valid. I almost feel bad because they're not.
It's not your fault that your problems aren't as heavy as mine.
I know it's not my fault. I never married a child molester. I'm not saying that. I'm aware. But that being said, I want to be here for you, and you keep trying to be here for me, just like you kept trying to be there for everybody else in your life. I can feel how hard you work to make the people around you feel propped up, and it's both inspiring and a little heartbreaking because it feels like, from what you've described, it's that exact quality that also blindsided you or helped lead to a situation. It's true. So here's this thing I'll put out there. We got about 11 minutes left. This has been fascinating.
Wow.
You are
Time flies.
It did. It flew by, and I am so impressed that you shared this story, and so impressed to hear how you've dealt with it. That being said, what else is like? What are a couple other things in your life? Just so I know. What are the other? You play basketball? I think that's great.
No, I don't. My boyfriend plays basketball. I just indulge him.
Oh, you indulge?
0 to 12, remember? 0 for 12.
So, like, when he needs somebody to just shoot around with, you're out there.
Yeah, I like to be moving. I mean, one of the best therapies is just moving your body in whatever way you can. So, yeah. I'm always game for some physical activity.
And your new boyfriend, he's a good guy?
The best. The best.
What does this guy do early on that makes you trust him after? Is this the first relationship you were in, or did you date around a little bit?
No, this is the first one. No, there's no casualty in my life. It's either you're going to accept me or you're just going to move on.
I can't believe that you just, with laughter in your voice, were like, there's no such thing as casual dating once you've divorced a molester.
There's no casually knowing me. Either you're going to know the full me or you're just not going to know any. Like, I can't maintain, like, superficial relationships like that. It's just... Like, if you want to know me, you have to know the full truth. Otherwise, you're just not going to understand. It's just not going to be real.
Yeah.
So
what is it?
I guess that was probably the thing initially.
What is it about?
Just the acceptance.
The acceptance.
The non-judgment. Like, and that's just who he is. It's just, he hears the stories and he just accepts.
That's amazing. He's an accepting person. And let me is there darkness? There darkness here? Is this guy like a Nine Inch Nails fan as well? Are you attracted to the darkness, or have you moved past that a little bit?
He does like some gangster rap, so I guess that's kind of dark.
That's awesome.
I don't know. He's got some darkness. I mean, but only, I don't know. The difference, I think, is that he owns it. He knows he owns his demons. I mean, when I say demons, I don't mean like his faults. He's aware. He knows. He works with them. On it every day to know when they're creeping in and how to manage them. And he's aware. He's working.
Yeah, that sounds like a very nice change
of pace.
That's
all I can ask of someone.
And do you think, because that came up, so you were attracted to the darkness, and with your ex, that desire to save or protect him, protect the world from him, you mistook that for real attraction or real love. Do you think that he? Do you think
real
that,
love. Yeah.
You think that he sensed that? Do you think he? I mean, it sounds like he was a master manipulator. Do you think that was part of what?
Yeah, I think. Absolutely. I think that's part of what drew him to me. Oh, I can have her. I can control this. I've got this.
So he's an actual maniac. He's like an actual person who wanted to control and manipulate and.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
She's going to be easy to lie to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, thank God it's in my past.
Big time. Big time.
Thank God he is in my past.
Yeah. That was a
sad. It is
sad
my story.
That was a sad readjustment. That was a bummer readjustment. It was just sad when you were like, it's in my past. And I was like, yeah. And you were like, no, wait, he's in my past. It will always be a part of me. And I was like, like I really felt like a triumphant moment. And then we backtracked it validly, very validly scaled it back to a realistic level.
Yeah. I mean, you can run from it, but I don't know. It's easier just to own it. It's easier just to be with it.
Yeah. This is, I'm going to complain a lot less. I am.
It's okay if you do, though.
It's okay if I do, and I'm sure I will at points, but if I had your attitude about my life, I'd be a happier person, and your life has been undoubtedly more difficult the past few years than mine has been, and it's teaching me a lot. It's reminding me a lot about my priorities and my attitude. I got to complain less.
No.
I got to love more.
No, I love it. I love it.
You taught me that.
I'm still teaching myself that, so we're learning from each other.
Yeah. We got about 5.5 minutes left. Anything else you want to put out there? Anything else that the world needs to know, or that you just want to say randomly?
No, I don't know. I feel really good. I feel happy. I'm happy that I got to talk to you. It was amazing. It's amazing.
I brought nothing to the table. You're the.
Oh, come on.
Nah, everybody agrees with me. I promise you, everybody listening agrees with me. I was not amazing.
Everyone who's listening is a fan of you, so I don't know about that.
Oh, listen, everybody might be a fan of the podcast, but my job is to facilitate. Okay? It's not about me. I've learned that from the number of people who tell me to stop. Literally people who tell me, hey, stop talking on your own podcast. Let the other people talk. And you talked. And everybody listening right now is maybe they're a fan of the podcast. Maybe they're even a fan of me. But right now and today, I promise you they are a fan of you. I promise you that.
No. Thanks.
Yeah.
That's pretty spectacular.
So what are you at? You said you work. You at work now?
Oh, yeah, I'm at work.
Nice. That's good. I'm glad you...
I'm not at my desk at the moment, so I'm going to wander back here in a minute and see what's waiting for me, but I'm at work.
I hope you don't get in trouble. For... Does everybody at your work, do people at your work know your situation?
For sure. My boss is the first person I called.
Wow. So you're close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I trust people, so
yeah.
It's just, I couldn't come into work and not be open with what had happened. They would be looking at me like, what? Like, you just got hit by a train. What happened to you?
I do feel like, you want to hear how shitty I am? And the thing that I bet you never would think? I immediately was like, you can never get in trouble. Like, you never get in trouble at work again. Like, anything that happens.
But that's sort of like, what is that called? There's a word for that. Like, I don't know.
Lying?
Sympathy or whatever. I don't know. I don't want that. I don't want to be in trouble.
Again,
I want to be held accountable.
Better person than I am. I'd take long breaks. I'd take real long breaks. And then if the boss was like, hey, what's going on? I'll be like, I'll tell you what's going on. So 2 years ago, and he'd be like, oh, right. Yes, I remember now. And then I would just be like, I'm going to take another break. You know what? I'm stressed out by this interaction. I'm going to take another break. I'm sure I wouldn't actually do that, but it did. That popped into my mind. Probably not a cool thing to say.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, look,
I can take breaks whenever I want, so I'm not too worried about it.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. I feel like we've come full circle. I feel like we've accomplished whatever we were meant to accomplish today.
Yeah, I think you, what a strong person you are in life, and a strong person for sharing this. And I think, I can't speak for anybody, but my prediction would be a lot of people listening to this are their jaws are dropped at your strength. And thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You got 2 minutes
Good
left.
luck with your basketball.
No. It can't end with you wishing me luck. At basketball, I'm 35 years old and I'm 5'7" and my knees are shot. I don't need the lasting image can't be you saying a nice. You can't be.
The next one you're gonna make.
Oh no! I have to say something nice to you. You can't. I'm gonna hit a whole bunch. You know what? Next week I'm gonna hit a whole bunch, and I'm gonna think about you every time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're tough. You're tough, and you're strong, and again, it's no joke. You can hear me. I'm trying to formulate the words, but this is one that I'm lucky to have, and I'll think about you, and I'll think about your son, and I'm wishing you guys well from afar, anonymously.
We'll take what we can get. Thank you. It means a lot.
Of course, and I can't predict the future, and I'm not here to solve your problems, but I will say that just from my perspective, from being far away, your son is going to be fine because he's got you.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
I don't even know what to say. I think I just talked to a human being who has lived. I think that's the conversation. Out of every conversation I've ever had in my life, not just on this podcast, that's the person who has maybe dealt with the most horror up close. To be able to laugh at all. To be able to be that open. I aspire to be as strong as that lady. And I think all of us listening, man, can we all take away some of the qualities that person brings into the world? Because that's an incredible mom. That's what I think about right there. That is an incredible mom who dealt with something that none of us ever wish upon anyone. And I'm amazed. I got to hear that situation and call her. I will think about you forever. Honestly. Forever. I'm blown away that you shared that. Let's everybody in the world who's listening to this just repeat after me. Take a deep breath and say, I will be less of a crybaby about things that don't matter. And let that weight go off your shoulders, because I'm feeling that in a big way right now. And now I'll get off the high horse. And I will say thank you to a number of people, to Greta Cohn, to John Delore, who turned this podcast from just a phone call into an actual show. It means so much. I want to thank Shellshag for the intro music, and I want to thank all you guys for listening. Please, if you enjoy the show, rate, review it on iTunes. We're so close to 1,000 reviews, so close, and it's a milestone, and it's a cool thing. And if you like the show, we're a community here, and I want it to be an active vocal one, and that's a small way that would mean a lot to me that we can. For more info on me, thechrisgethardshow.com is info on my TV show. All my touring dates are up at chrisgeth.com under the shows section. I'm going all over the country this summer. I'm also going to Ireland, to Scotland, a ton of dates, and I'd love to just meet all you guys out there on the road. If you're a fan of the podcast, come out, say hi. Not just for the ticket sales, but because I actually would really love to say hello. You guys have supported me, it means a lot. So anyway, I'm gonna get going. That one was mind-blowing. And next week, More Beautiful Anonymous. Sorry I'm flustered. That one blew me away.
Kiss me face to face.
We'd like to thank today's sponsor, Sundance Now Doc Club. Sundance Now Doc Club is your destination for a rich library of award-winning nonfiction content. Don't miss the beautiful story told in Spectrum of Hope and other captivating, critically acclaimed films on Sundance Now Doc Club. Available on web, mobile, Apple TV, Roku. It's awesome. I'm a member. Start streaming more beautiful stories now. Get your free month at www.docclub.com/beautiful. That is www.docclub.com/beautiful. Put beautiful in lowercase. Get that free month. Enjoy it. It's a service that I really can personally endorse. Next time on Beautiful Anonymous.
I feel like I was living a lie to some degree.
Wow. That's not easy. So are you effectively still living within the Mormon community, knowing that...
Oh, yeah. I'm doing everything that somebody that would believe 100% is doing.
And you're doing this for the sake of your family, I would imagine?
Yeah, so my wife has essentially told me that if I were not Mormon, if I did not continue living as a Mormon, that she would, essentially leave me.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Next time on Beautiful Anonymous.
Hey, quick, don't turn the podcast off. I know you probably left it on by accident, but I'm Arnie Niekamp from Hello from the Magic Tavern. This is what's going on. About a year ago, I fell through a dimensional portal behind a Burger King into the fantastical land of Foon. I'm joined by my co-host, a talking badger.
Chunt, please.
And a magical wizard.
I am Usador, blue wizard of the 12th realm of Ephesius.
His name goes on a lot longer than that, but we don't have time for it. We interview adventurers, magical creatures, talking animals, and we talk about buttholes a lot. I apologize for that. If that sounds interesting, download Hello from the Magic Tavern.
Aye, and then you can join me in my quest to defeat the Dark Lord. Correct, Donald?
Correct. Download it on Earwolf, and the entire back catalog is also on the Howl app.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Ackerman, Adam Sachs, and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.